Welcome back, everybody. I hope y'all are having a good day. Y'all are family whom I care about. I see y'all in the comment section a lot. I read a lot of your comments from my other account, and I just want to say thank you so much for participating, for giving me your thoughts, for being so passionate, for teaching. You guys be teaching in the comment section more than you do. More than you debate anyone. Earlier on, when I very first started doing reactions and whatnot, it wasn't that type of group all the time inside the comment section. It was a more angrier type of group, fussing, debating, but now it's people who are loving on one another and rooting people on and encouraging one another to speak and go forward. I appreciate that. So we're about to go ahead and check this journal out right here, where Jesse Lee Peterson is speaking to an extremely highly educated Black woman who apparently was raised with her father in the home, who was also extremely educated and Black, and but yet she still believes in being oppressed. So we're about to hear why.
Does white privilege exist?
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
And where's the proof of that?
All around. I tell people often now, in hindsight, one of the things that I wish I would have been more cognizant of was the white privilege at UCLA that was sitting, right next to me. For Black people, I believe white privilege is something to leverage.
What is it though? I don't see it anywhere. What is it? What is it?
How don't you
For
not
people
see
like
white
me
privilege?
who don't see it.
How do you not see white privilege?
Because it doesn't exist. That's
Yes,
what
it does.
So what is it exactly?
I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as Black people have to deal with. I mean, there's no white racial profiling. White people don't get pulled over by the cops just because they're white. They have the ability to, show emotion and love to their sons without being emasculated. There's all kind of examples
That's
of white
amazing
privilege.
that you believe
Absolutely.
Same old song that's sung to us over and over and over again. Guys, we gotta cut this out, man. At some point, seriously. And stop demeaning any Black person who's telling you, yo, do you not see yourself? Like, I'm looking at this young lady, very poised, very astute, but yet you want people to believe that we are still victims. We're not. Right, with the power that we have, you went to UCLA. How'd you go to UCLA? Scholarships? Probably bust your tail. Probably got a little bit of help. No one knows. But you went to UCLA. UCLA. Privilege is what you operate under. You are in that other privilege, the privilege that leads all privileges. And we need to start just letting people know, man, that the stuff that we've been feeding you is BS. And the only way we can move forward if we stop dwelling on this one thing and push a new narrative, a positive narrative, something that can move us forward, get us across the finish line. Like, you're doing well. I'm sure everybody you know is doing well. But because of what you're being fed and because you're out there and talking to people or hearing stories about things that you're passionate about, you want to feel like that's everybody. Nah, man. Nah. I'm not rolling.
Why don't you Black? How come you don't believe white privilege exists? What you see?
Well, because I am Black in color, but I don't have that dark mentality that most Black people have.
Clearly.
I see, she said
Clearly. Amazing.
Clearly. Mm-hmm. I see that white people have the same struggles and things that we have, in that
What type of
They have
struggles
to
do they
make their
have?
marriages work. They have to make their children, help their kids grow up in the right way so that they can earn a living and be independent.
But they also have the majority of their
make
fathers
kids,
at home.
Right,
We don't
and the
have-
reason for that, it's starting to change somewhat now, but the reason for that is because they are taking responsibility for that, whereas black men and women are not taking responsibility for that, as they did prior to the civil rights movement. Black people are blaming it on their lack of self-control and self-containment. They're blaming it on white people, while white people are working hard to keep it going.
I do
for
believe
themselves.
that there is a need for black people to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse racism, that doesn't excuse institutionalized racism, that doesn't excuse...
But there's no
that,
such thing as that.
Yes,
It's
it
an illusion
is.
made
No,
up
it's
by
not.
black people and their
it's
leaders.
not. No, it's not. It exists.
Well,
Sorry.
where's the proof of it, though?
What do you mean, where's the proof of it?
There are many kids who are getting into, black kids who are allowed to get into these universities around the country, right, based on affirmative action. And because of affirmative action based on their color. That's discrimination based on color, and that's wrong. And these kids are getting in, but they're not earning their way. So when they fail, they feel less than before they were allowed to get in.
Her face over there was like, whoa, she got triggered just now. When he said when they don't deserve to get in, she got triggered. I saw that daggone dimple on the side of her face, and she was like, oh, she checked him. She gave him a black woman check right there. That's, if that stare down could burn a hole through his shoulder, he will have a couple of holes in his face.
Based on color.
I'm a proud product of affirmative action. When I went to UCLA, it was because I was an affirmative action student.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I think I turned out fantastic. So a lot of my peers who were having challenges getting into some of these predominantly white institutions, the affirmative action was great. My father went to Harvard. You know, he was one of very few blacks.
Was he affirmative?
Come on, lady. Come on, lady. Your daddy went to Harvard.
I don't know if he was. That was back in the late 60s.
But then he wasn't. He
Okay.
earned his way.
So that being said, I still believe that affirmative action helped me get into UCLA, and it gave me access.
You would
and
not have
exposure.
gotten in there on your own because you were not smart enough.
I don't know if I wasn't smart enough, but based on the curve and what I was competing with you know, other individuals who had different educational opportunities and teachers. I mean, I'm coming from, you know, the LA Unified School District. I mean, so at the time, I think LAUSD was still pretty good. But I went to all white schools from high school up
So you
through
got
college.
a good education. Why couldn't you get into the school based on your own talent?
I don't know. Maybe.
She said, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Dang it, baby girl. You're not doing well explaining your case right now.
Because I didn't have some of the opportunity.
But you
first of
had
all,
the opportunity.
No, well, first of all,
You had the same opportunity
SAT,
those white kids were having.
Not necessarily. I had different teachers. I had different
So you
resources.
went to a white integrated school.
I'm talking about
mostly
going
white.
into these other into UCLA. I still had to be able to deal with some of the issues and going to predominantly white schools.
Like
but I
what?
still had to be able to compete.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Some of the issues going to a predominantly
I would graduate from University High School, and at the time they didn't have an African American student union. An
African American student union
at the school.
Well, that's a good thing.
They didn't have one.
That's a good thing.
Why?
Why do you need something like that?
But they have Asian student unions. They have Jewish student unions. They have all kind of
Did
different.
they have
student
white
unions.
student union?
They need student union. They own the whole school. So
But the kids
there were
didn't own
no-
the school. The kids didn't.
But I'm
own it.
saying there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong
It's
with having
amazing
a
that you think this way.
segregated, population of students who just want to study together or work together or to be able to
Would you
deal
be in
with.
support of a white student union?
Yeah, of course.
It would be okay with you?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
But most blacks don't feel that way.
I think all cultures should be able to segregate and to be able to work within their cultures and network within their own cultures. Absolutely.
Does racism exist?
I believe racism does exist.
And where's the
absolutely.
proof of that?
You just see it all over in the country. With proof of it. In terms
What-
of just
what do
the
I see?
disproportionate in the economics with black people.
But that has nothing to do with racism.
It does. Racism is about power. It's about who's in control. And black people can't be racist because we're not in control. We're not in control of the educational system, some of the social organizations and things that run this country. We're not in control. Racism is about power.
But you would be in
race is
control of your own life if you had good parents, if they taught you how to be independent, if they taught you how to build, how to take care of. I've noticed that the reason I left where I lived over there in the Crenshaw district is that once the white people left, because once I moved there, when I first moved there, it was mostly whites. But once they left, as they did in Gary, Indiana, and other places, the blacks turned it into a ghetto. A beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. But if blacks had...
He said a beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. Look how she looking at him though. She wants to cuss his tail out, man.
more character, and they were taking care of themselves and being responsible and buying land and teaching their
But
children.
that has to be taught.
Then, right, so that has nothing to do with racism.
But that has to, of course, that has to be taught.
So it's not racist. It's not white people's fault that you're not teaching your children to do that.
No, but it's not. If
that
the
true?
parents don't know.
They
if the
don't know,
parents,
but that's not
the
white
parents
people's
don't
fault,
know, but if they go into some of these institutions, these predominantly white institutions, they are targeted. They don't have the same opportunities because of their color. It's true. I mean,
so then why go in there then? Why not go to an all-black school if you
some
feel
people
that?
do choose to do that.
I'm sorry?
Some people do choose. That's
Well,
why
you see a lot of these black kids going to these white universities, and then they force their way in by saying, I need affirmative action. Once they get in, now they crying racism. Why do you want to force your way in with the people you think are your enemies, and you're still complaining once you get there?
I don't think people are forcing their way. Does
They
affirmative
are.
action even
Action
exist?
is forced based on color.
Does affirmative action even exist? Are people getting in based on affirmative action?
Yes.
Today,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
The way Trump has it down, he's just leveled the playing field. So it is going to have to be more about being able to be competitive.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it should have to be about being competitive. And we keep on talking about not having the advantages that we need in order to get to these universities, get into these universities. There are people who are testing to get into these universities who are here as second generation citizens. Some of them are first generation citizens, and they are able to bust their tails and study their asses off so that they can outperform everyone. Where are they getting this information? Where could they possibly, did they get it from the white man too? That's what I'm trying to understand, because it's like every time we got a freaking excuse, another excuse after excuse. I just want to know what's the talking points, because clearly I got them wrong. I need to, get along with the talking points. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Stuff like this makes me sad. Beautiful young lady, for real. She's very smart too. She's very intelligent. A lot of y'all probably say that she's not. She is. She just has her own. She has a love for her people that surpasses anything fair. So don't even think about being fair. People are ready to have their own slice of the pie at this point. Like, yeah, it's sad, man. In any event, I want to know what you thought about that in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all.